And you will know my name is the Lord.
I am God.
Damn you all.
Alrighty, well, here we are. At long last, and on possibly the last fucking day of the week, we have not done the mental health stream. We did Mondays, we did Tuesdays, we did Fridays, we did Mondays, we did Thursdays, we did Tuesdays, we did Thursdays for a long time, then we didn't do it forever for a while, and now here we are for some reason on Sunday, largely just because I'm completely unable to face any more Bible today because I already had my patron stream this morning where we talked about sin and thank you for your contribution. Sin and thought crime. And I damn near blew a fucking gasket. All right, so here we are. Welcome one, welcome all to the one, the only Junk Shop Library channel, home of Improv, Bible Study, Mental Health Thursday, Catholic Catechism Chaos, and when I remember to do it, something else that I'm forgetting. An Atheist Reads the Book of Mormon, which I'm supposed to do on Saturday evenings, forgot to do yesterday, and there you have it. This show and the others, just as brilliantly and consistently produced and scheduled here on the Mayhem and Foolishness Network, is brought to you by, there's my cursor, the fantabulous people whose names you currently see scrolling at the bottom of the screen, my wonderful Patreon supporters, the folks who have bopped on over to patreon.com/junkshoplibrary and signed on to contribute as little as $1 a month, for which they get, well, they get the catechism stream on Sundays most of the time when I'm not on unexpected hiatus. Y'all are no end of patient. I appreciate it. Absolutely no end. And I should do more Patreon exclusive content, especially considering that it was my Patreon supporters who kept my O-light on during a not insignificant proportion of the channel's life. Thank you all. You know what you did. You know what you do. You know what you continue to provide to the channel and to me. Thank you. I would be remiss, while I was thanking my Patreon supporters, did I not specifically single out and thank my longest running and highest tier Patreon supporter, my genuine calfskin level Patreon patron, the one and only Mr. Paul Kamish, flyer of planes, shooter of guns, and debunker of flat earth foolishness. Thank you for everything you continue to do for the channel, my friend. It means a lot. I see the chat filling up with a lot of folks. Some folks I see a lot of the time. Some folks I very rarely see. Some folks I hadn't seen in a minute just because I can't schedule for shit. I see some folks celebrating negative COVID results. Excellent. Excellent. So very glad to hear it. Get your fucking vaccine. Everybody. Can't imagine anybody's made it this far into the video who is watching after the fact, who hasn't already gotten the vaccine, because let's face it, I present a fairly niche market production. But if you made it this far and you're still unconvinced, the science is in. Be convinced. Roll up your sleeve, take the jab, do your part. Cheers. Okay. So what the fuck are we doing here? Well, hey, Greg, good to see you again, my friend. I flatter myself a mental health advocate, though that word carries some baggage and implies a degree of effort and influence that I don't necessarily deserve. But here on the internet and here in this weird little corner of YouTube I've carved out, one of the things that I talk about, not as often as I used to, not as often as I should, is the importance of discussing openly and without bowing to stigma, mental health conditions, mental health treatment, mental health medication, mental health, all things here. I myself suffer from chronic depression, chronic anxiety, social anxiety, am subject to panic attacks, and am 90 some odd % certain I am being treated for borderline personality disorder, just based on the medication list that I've been prescribed. My psychiatrist does not subscribe to the tell your patient everything model. And so I'm not entirely sure what it is that I'm being medicated for, but I know the medication helps. And sometimes that's as good as anything else. I'm prescribed the medication, I take the medication, I'm better and feel better because of the medication. One of the many things I try to address and strive for here on the Greater Mayhem and Foolishness Network is www.mayhemandfoolishnessproductions.com. Links at the link tree in the description below. About the only thing that's in the description below, because I threw this shit together on absolutely no fucking notice whatsoever about 10 fucking minutes ago. One of the many things that I try to speak about is my conviction that we need to normalize and destigmatize speaking about mental health treatment, whatever form that treatment takes in any one person's particular case. For some people, it's talk therapy. For some people, it's medication. For some people, it's a combination of the two. For some people, it's DBT. For some people, it's CBT. For some people, it's a combination of all of the above. If it works for you, keep doing it. If it makes you better and more functional, I believe you should keep doing it. I felt a panic attack coming on just before I got on camera because, among other things, I have a lot of performance anxiety getting in front of the camera. And I was not prepared for the stream, which is a weird combination and not a good one for someone with my particular constellation of interesting mental health issues. So I took an as-needed mental health medication. I should have said this earlier. I am not a mental health professional. I claim no expertise outside of experience, and very little of that. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, and take none of it without the input of your medical team, medical providers, whatever. Okay? This is just sort of a broad disclaimer that I should have said earlier and forgot to. Anyway, what I usually do at this time on Sundays is my Improv Bible study series, which has been going on for over 2.5 years now, and where I read verse by verse the King James Bible and then react to it chapter by chapter from a modern atheist humanist perspective. I couldn't face it today. I wasn't up for it. I wasn't in the mood for it. I didn't have the spoons for it, and I would not have done my little series justice had I attempted it. Yay, therapy. Exactly. Thank you, String Theories. My newest Patreon supporter, hashtag String Theories. Thank you so much and welcome aboard. I've got y'all, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I here? I've got so many things that I kind of want to talk about a little bit and no expertise in any of them, and no focus and no script and no nothing. We're here though. Long ago, the slogan of the mental health stream, we're here, so we win. I'm not this may have been a bad idea. I should have just canceled for mental health reasons. Y'all would have understood. Instead, here I am. But if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this consistently, and I'm going to do this with at least some degree of openness and honesty. I'm not always at the top of my game, ready to play the slightly manic little character that y'all are accustomed to seeing. Y'all have seen a lot of different presentations and a lot of different emphases on the mental health stream and here on the channel. Just barely holding it together by the skin of my fucking teeth, junk shop. I don't know that I've dared put on the camera before. I am here. I'm not entirely hot hat weaving and folk dancing. Stool is determined to get me to talk about stuff I've got even less expertise in than mental health. Fuck you. I am not there's a reason for the decline in both the frequency and the quality of the content here on the channel. And I have not been as open or as transparent about it as I talk a good game I should be. I'm trying to keep a lot of plates spinning, a lot of balls in the air. I'm very uncomfortable in my own skin right now, both literally and figuratively. Well, hello, secular pagan mom. I hadn't seen you in a hot minute, except in Nox chat. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. There's not. I don't know what I'm doing. I've got weird mental stuff of my own I'm dealing with. I've got a couple of friends who are dealing with even more, and whose social media presences have become increasingly worrisome to me, increasingly sparsely populated, and increasingly worrying to me. And that's created stress. I've got I think this was a mistake. I think the stream was. I thought I was a little bit better put together up here than I apparently am. Maybe this is important to show. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. This isn't going to run much longer. Those of us who struggle with mental health conditions, some of us, and I am unanimous in this, talk a pretty good game about how important it is to talk about our stuff. It's a little easier to do when we're manic or in a mixed state. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. I think oh. Oh, Jesus. Y'all, you know what I forgot to do on Friday? Somebody who talks as much shit, and talks as good a game as I normally do, at least on social media, about taking care of one's mental health uh, following instructions and taking what, blah 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 blah. I forgot. I had a self-imposed deadline on Friday. I need to call my shrink. I'm overdue for a base touching with my shrink. And this oh dear me. I'll be taking this down. Don't worry.